Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am thrilled to welcome you to another pick a card reading here on my channel. I hope you are all doing very, very well and having an amazing day, night, afternoon or morning, whatever it is that you are having. But very exciting pick a card reading for us ahead. We are going to be looking at the things that you are now ready for, and that also means that we are going to be having a look at the things that you have managed to work through, some of the issues that you have managed to resolve or are in the process of resolving, and basically what you've been able to heal. So it's going to be a very, very uplifting, hopefully, reading for you guys. And also it's going to be giving you a peek into what kind of energy you are now ready to receive and accept in your life. So very, very exciting stuff ahead. And I am super thrilled to get into this reading for you guys. But quick disclaimer, I have been kind of feeling a bit under the weather lately, so that's why I didn't want to take upon like a very big reading, and so we only have 3 piles in front of us. I'm kind of keeping it more on the low end for today, and so that's what you have to go off of. And to make it even more difficult for you, not intentionally of course, but I don't know, I just felt like I needed to just keep the piles really plain this time. So there are no different decks for you to choose from, and there are no feathers, no gemstones, no trinkets or charms or anything like that attached to the piles either. This is going to require you to purely go off of which pile you feel drawn to. And as I always say, I think it really helps if you take a couple of deep breaths, if you close your eyes, calm yourself, bring yourself back to this present moment. And once you have managed to kind of distance yourself from the noise and the mental chatter in your own head, as well as the noise outside of you, you are able to hear the intuitive nudges within you more clearly. So tap into those intuitive senses, feel which pile you feel drawn to the most, and then go into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. As always, just pointing it out that we have a pile starting from the left and moving towards the right as always. So we have pile number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Anyway, so those are your piles. Take all the time that you need. You can pause the video if you want to, you can meditate on them, or if you want to just go off of whatever the first inkling is, do that, do what works for you, and I will see you guys in your video. Hello, pile number 1. You guys chose pile number 1. That's all you had to go off of, and again, I do apologize if this was a bit of a pain in the behind for you, but that's just what I felt that I was called to do. So we are going to put the tarot cards on the side here for the time being, and we're going to start off with some oracle cards, as we tend to do. Now, these oracle cards are going to give us an understanding of the things that you have been working through. Now, if you kind of skipped the intro part and just went straight to the timestamp, then basically the first part of the reading is going to be looking at the things that you have either managed to heal completely, or that you are in the process of healing right now and you are on the way to healing. So it really is going to be different for all of you, because this is a general reading after all. So just take it as it resonates, but basically the thing that you have been working on or working through, that's what we're going to be looking at first. And then with the tarot cards, we're going to see what you are now ready to welcome into your life, or what you are ready to move into next, thanks to all of this hard work that you have been doing, okay? If you want to know what else you should be keeping in mind, because this is a general reading, okay, so it's not going to resonate for all of you 100%. If you want to know what else you should be keeping in mind, then definitely go and check out the link in my description box. It's the first video on the top there, and it will take you to the video that I made about that specific subject. But let's get into it. Okay, we're starting off with she who is present. Now, awareness, acceptance. We also have 5th house. Oh, and Lorelei. We have nourishment. And a fiery climax approaches. Oh, loving all of this orange here. We also have transformation and I respect the property of others. Okay, very interesting. I have this feeling that the thing that you have been working on the most is learning to enjoy life as it is right now in this present moment. The people that you have around you, the relationships that you have in your life, the creative endeavors or ways that you are able to express yourself, that you have any hobbies, any interests, any pastimes that you really enjoy, being able to look after yourself or look after the people that you really love. It just feels like instead of living more so either in the past or in the future and being very focused on those, you are now much more aware of what is happening around you and much more aware of the power that the present moment holds and how much power you have over your own future because of it. Because of the choices, the decisions that you are making in the present moment. I feel like you have done a lot of work to realize it, to bring yourself to that place of understanding. And so I feel like you have really done a lot of work on learning to appreciate and acknowledge and be grateful for the life that you have, and like really starting to see things from a very mature and from a very advanced viewpoint, basically. It definitely feels like an internal transformation here with this card, but it also feels like you have kind of either started putting things in motion outside of you as well, or you've already managed to do a lot in your external realm as well. So what do I mean by that? I mean that maybe you have already done some pretty, like maybe you've already made some pretty radical changes in your life. You know, maybe you've decided to move to another place, or maybe you've decided to like make conscious changes in how you spend money or how you spend your time or how you spend your other resources. Maybe you have changed your lifestyle or your diet or your exercise routine. Maybe you've started paying more attention to looking after yourself, looking after your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, all of these different things. I just feel like it's something that you have started paying a lot more attention to, rather than just kind of like running out and doing all of these things that you feel that need doing, and maybe not really paying attention to why you're actually doing them or who's actually benefiting from them, and whether the things that you are doing are actually beneficial for yourself too, whether you should be actually doing them, or whether there's maybe some other thing that your attention and your energy would be better focused on. So I feel like there have been a lot of like these realizations for you, a lot of these realizations, and a lot of those realizations have started changing your perspective on life, have started changing your behavior, your patterns. those are the things that you have been really trying to work on so that you could improve the quality of your life and have a life that is more nourishing for you on several levels, not just on like a physical level, but also on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, right? It feels much more like wholesome, much more well-rounded. And I also feel like I get a major maturation process, and I know that it may sound a bit bad, and I don't want you to take it in a bad way, because this is in no way a judgment, okay? We all go through maturation processes, even as we are adults, when we have grown up and we don't necessarily consider ourselves to be childish or immature or anything like that. We still constantly keep maturing. We still constantly keep growing up. And I kind of feel like you have gone through one of those stages as well, or you are currently going through one of those stages. Again, take it as it resonates. And again, to explain what I mean by that is that maybe previously you were a bit like oblivious, or maybe you didn't necessarily always understand how the things that you wanted or the things that you were trying to do or achieve were impacting other people. Maybe you at times acted a bit more selfishly than you realized or than you would have liked to behave. And I feel like now it's almost as if you realize how the things that you are doing, the things that you are saying, the things that the choices that you are making, how those things are impacting other people in your life. And learning to kind of incorporate other people's needs, other people's opinions, other people's emotions, learning to incorporate those more in your kind of worldview, in that more aware, in that more like upgraded perspective that you now have. Maybe you were lacking patience before, and maybe you have now learned to practice more compassion, more understanding, more tolerance, especially towards other people. And I'm mainly saying it because of this card over here. So there is an element of taking other people into consideration, of taking other people's worldview into consideration, and being more acceptive of that, accepting the fact that other people may not necessarily desire the same things that you desire. Other people may not see things the same way that you see them. Other people may not value what you value, right? And I feel like if maybe in the past you were having a harder time accepting people who didn't see things your way, or who were maybe opposing you in some way, or who were just different from you, or who were triggering something in you. Maybe in the past you found it a lot harder to kind of control those emotions, or to see things from a higher vantage point, to see things from a higher perspective. But I feel like now you've gone through that transformation, right? You've gone through that upgrade within yourself, within your perspective, within your worldview. As I said, it's much more wholesome now. It's much more inclusive. So this is a beautiful energy of, as I said, maturation and transformation. This is a beautiful energy of starting to realize more and more how much power, how much influence you have over your own life and also other people's lives, and gaining a lot more self-awareness in the process, learning to control those aspects, learning to control your own behavior, your own emotion, your own reactions and impulses, and it's starting to do that in a much more like healthy way, in a much more compassionate way, understanding way. So yeah, this is some fairly like cool energy that shows a lot of advancement, a lot of development, a lot of growth. And if this is you, if this is the thing that you resonate with, then you should definitely be very, very proud of yourself. You're kind of getting more and more into the kind of place where you feel really content with life because of all of the necessary adjustments or changes that you've made, and also all of the growth that you've done, all of the things that you now realize. They're all feeding into this, like, in control but also in flow way of living. So this is really, really cool. But let's look at the tarot cards now, and let's see what you are now ready for, thanks to all of this, hard work that you have been doing on yourself, and also how it is extending outside of you as well, because it definitely feels like all of the changes that you have been making within yourself and within your own life have also started to impact, or are I can't say it, or are already impacting other people in a very positive manner too. So yeah, cool. But let's see. Okay, we have the Two of Cups in reverse with the Ten of Swords in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords. We have the Empress in reverse with the King of Cups and Judgment in reverse. Okay. So I find it really funny that we are getting so many of these swords cards, which are definitely indicating awareness and realization and truth, and I love that you are getting the Ace of Swords as the center card here, because that really tells me that this new awareness that you have, this broader understanding, deeper understanding that you have, this illumination that you've gone through, it now allows you to very clearly distinguish the things that are not worth your time, that are not worth your investment. Again, whether we're talking of like material investments, or whether we're talking of like spiritual investments, right? Energy, time, those kinds of things. I love how the cards are reflecting back the energy that was coming through from these cards over here. It's evident from the cards that this huge amount of internal work that you have done is also going to start impacting the quality of, as I said, not only your own life, but also your relationships and the input of other people in your life. And we see that with the Two of Cups in reverse here and the Ten of Swords in reverse. All of the disappointing relationships, all of the disappointing moments when you haven't seen eye to eye with someone, or when people have not really understood where you're coming from, or you have not understood where other people are coming from. And maybe in the process of that, things have kind of heated up to a point where everything kind of like blows up in your face, or things kind of escalate to a point where it's really hard to bring them back. And maybe like previously in your previous relationships, when you weren't as aware, or when you didn't have the knowledge and the understanding that you have now, maybe it was really difficult to kind of get to a place of like mutual understanding and compromise, and being on the same page, being on the same level. Maybe previously relationships were something that like they just weren't working for you, or whatever you were doing, something somehow always ended up going in the wrong place, or the words, the conversations that you had with someone always ended up saying something completely different than what you had intended to say. And so I just feel a lot of this like mismatched energy, a lot of this like trying and somehow like not succeeding, somehow ending up in a completely different place than what you wanted. And now, as I said, I feel with this newfound awareness, you are able to actually turn your back on it. As you can see here, like she is turning her back on all of the misunderstandings and the like emotions being blown out of proportion, and like arguments escalating to a point where it's really difficult to come back, where trust has been severed, or some kind of like emotional respect towards each other has been broken, like something has been tainted. That's the energy that I feel that you have previously experienced, and now you're finally able to come out of those situations. You're able to see through those situations. You're able to understand why some of those things happened the way that they did, why the conversations ended up in those places, because you're much more self-aware now. And because of that, you are also much more aware of like how you express yourself and how you allow other people to talk to you, because it is a two-way street. And so I kind of love that we're getting this King of Cups here. I'm kind of jumping around here, but I love that we're getting this King of Cups here, because it does tell me that you are ready for a more heartfelt, a more honest, a more accepting, and again, more understanding and compassionate way of relating to other people, communicating to other people, being more so driven from your heart space and from that deeper, more connected consciousness, rather than just like from an ego level or from your mind level. And so I feel like you are not going to be just wasting your energy on whatever. I feel like it's really like with this Empress in reverse here, I feel like the movements that you make and the commitments that you get yourself into, they are really going to be based off of both your kind of newfound awareness, your new perspective, but also your heart space, and kind of beautifully marrying the two. And if either aspect does not feel right, if something from this new perspective that you now have, if something is not fitting into that new perspective, if you can't make sense of it, if you can't grasp it, or if there's something missing for you from the heart space level, if it's not making you feel right, if you're not feeling valued or appreciated, you're just not going to be investing yourself into it. You're not going to get involved. So I feel like there is this beautiful balance that you're going to be looking for in situations, and especially when it comes to situations that you want to be involved in, that you want to grow and bloom and nurture into something more long term. So I feel like you're ready for the things that light you up, that make you feel fulfilled. Again, not just on like a rational level, not just on a level that makes sense and that other people will approve of, but also from a heart level, from a spiritual level, from an emotional level. There's a lot of work that you have already done. I can see that. It's evident. We already went over that. But I also feel like you're going to be going through more discoveries as you go along this path, and as you open up even more, and as you broaden your mind even more, and your awareness even more, and as you gain more of these experiences that enrich your worldview even more. And I see this with the Judgment card in reverse here, that there is going to be more discoveries to be made. And I feel like, again, those kinds of discoveries where you maybe start seeing more of these things that actually don't have any place in your life, where they don't really serve any purpose, or where they are just not beneficial for you. You're going to be starting to notice them more and more easily, which is again going to allow you to make the necessary changes here. Because with this Ace of Swords, this to me is the most important card here, because it's the one in the center. And so I feel like this new way of being and doing things and understanding things and approaching things that you now have is allowing you to, again, be more in control and not hesitate when you feel like some sort of changes need to be made for you to have a more fulfilling life. So don't be surprised if there's more that you discover, there's more that kind of comes about as you progress on this journey, and as you clean up this stuff from your life, and like even more than you have already done. And as you make even more changes, no matter whether they are big changes, small changes, but just as you make these changes, as you make these adjustments to move towards a life that you are truly, fully happy with, that you are content with. As I said, you have been doing so much good work, so now, because you have all of this knowledge, and I mean, there is so much power in knowledge. There is so much power in being aware of yourself and of others and of your patterns, your life, your decisions, and how those decisions impact your future and all of those things. There is so much power in that. And the more aware you become, the more power you have over your own life and your own future and the kind of life that you truly and ultimately want to live. And so this reading is full of power. This reading is full of, as I said, like very mature energy, very, very grown energy, developed energy. And thanks to that, I kind of see you doing this like, I don't know, radical cleanup in your life as well. And I feel like you're really raising your standards here. And you're not really accepting subpar experiences, subpar standards, subpar people, right? And because you are leveling up to that kind of degree, you are also starting to attract more of those experiences. Again, not putting up with things that don't really align with you, not putting up with things that are not up to scratch, and seeing through the situations, the relationships, the dynamics that are either unhealthy or just unproductive, and making those necessary changes. So really, really, really cool reading here, pile number one. But before we close this reading out, we're also going to look at some last oracle card messages from Spirit to give you advice. So let's see. What kind of last pieces of advice do you have for pile one? Thank you. Okay, wow, we have book. So clearly there is so much there's so much more for you to discover. The book is all about information. It's about knowledge. It's about secrets as well. It's about the things that you don't know. So as I said, there is definitely more for you to discover. There is definitely more for you to reveal and uncover as you are working towards an even like more aligned, more aware life. But yeah, this is Spirit encouraging you to keep digging, to keep getting into the core of you, and peeling away those layers, finding out what else is there to discover. Let's see. What else? What other advice do you have for pile number one, please? Oh, thank you. Oh, we also have the Man card. Okay, that's interesting. So it doesn't have to mean that you have to be a male yourself or anything, but because it's coming through as advice, I'm just taking it as masculine energy. So being proactive, and you even had the King of Cups here as well as the only other upright card. So being like discerning, being active, being in charge and in control of your life, that's what Spirit really seems to be commending you on, really, here. So yeah, being active, being in charge, and really standing up for what you want and what you expect from yourself and from others. That's the kind of attitude that Spirit wants you to continue having. And let's see if we can get one last piece of advice, please, for pile number one regarding their spread. Oh, and we have the birds. Yeah, so it's so funny. It's kind of coming through in such a funny like continuation. I'm not sure whether that's the right word, but it's coming through. The birds card is really representing like communication and talking and negotiations and meeting with other people, meeting with like-minded people. It also can symbolize dates, and so I find it really funny that first of all, because this is a more like laid back, more social energy, I feel like it first of all kind of again calls you to find time for those kinds of more light-hearted activities as well, where you are just connecting with other people and not maybe taking life and yourself too seriously and just having a good time. But also, I feel like the aspect of communication is also being highlighted, where I feel like the way that you have grown in your communication, the way that you have developed your communication skills as you have become more aware of, again, both yourself and of the patterns that you may be used to go through when dealing with other people. I feel like those are now enabling you to, like, being aware of those things is enabling you to have more healthy and productive and balanced like relationships with other people too. So yeah, this more like light-hearted energy, but also being aware of communication, that seems to be another piece of advice for you here. And yeah, it's really, really cool. Honestly, pile number one, I'm so proud of you for all of the amazing discoveries that you have made and all the growth that you have done. It's really, really something else. So you should definitely be very proud of yourselves. But I'm going to leave the reading here because it still turned out to be a lot longer than I wanted it to be. But I hope that you're still here with me and that this reading offered you something useful. And if that's the case, then definitely don't forget to leave me a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe if you liked my energy and if you like this kinds of readings and you want to hang out with me in the future as well. But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and hanging out with me. And I hope to see you guys in my next pick a card reading very, very soon. But in the meantime, please take care of yourselves and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number two. So this is going to be your reading. I hope that you are as excited as I am. I'm going to put the tarot cards on the side here for a bit because we're going to start off with some oracle cards first. If you've been watching my pick a card readings before, you maybe already know this. I like to start off with oracle cards, and this time these oracle cards are going to show us the things that you have been working through, the issues that you have been healing or are in the process of healing. So it really depends on where you are on your personal journey. Some of you have already managed to overcome these things that are going to be coming through the cards, and others of you are maybe still on your way to resolving these things. But regardless of that, these are going to be giving us an idea of the thing that you have been, or the things that you have been working through, okay? Things that you have been healing. And then we're going to get into the tarot cards and look at what you are actually ready to welcome into your life, or what you are ready to get into next, thanks to all of this hard work that you have been doing. Now, this is a general reading, okay? So it's not going to resonate for all of you 100%. And because I recently made a video of all the things that you should be keeping in mind as you're watching these tarot readings on YouTube, then I do recommend watching that as well. Go into the description box, it's the first link there, and make sure to watch it if you haven't already. But besides that, let's move on and look at what is going out for you. Okay, wow, we are starting off with She Who Hesitates, Ponder, Delay, Confidence. Okay, we also have the 7th house. Okay, and we have protective nest, which is funnily enough number 25 and reducing down to 7 as well. Okay, we also have self-love and the end of a tough cycle approaches. Oh, we have another card of love. Interesting. And finally we have I spread joy. Okay, so pile number 2. I get a very, very, very specific story here, and I feel like the thing that you have mainly been working on here is kind of taking yourself out of this hiding place that you have been in, this hideaway spot that you've spent a lot of time in, and are actually now starting to kind of like step into life again, put yourself out there again, stepping into the limelight and being visible is kind of almost what I want to say. You are rediscovering joy and rediscovering pleasure and rediscovering the reason to be alive, because I kind of get that. Well, there are 2 messages coming through here. We have this self-love card, right? But we also have the 7th house and then love in like a more broad sense over here. So I feel like it's almost a combination of both, or for some of you it could be one or the other. But I do feel that one of those things that you maybe have been hiding away from is love, is connection, is that like vulnerable, intimate relationship with someone. Again, for some of you, it's coming to terms with accepting and loving yourself for all of that you are, and like building up this confidence within you to actually show people who you really are and not hide away your true essence, your true self. But for others of you, it's more so talking about having relationships with other people, right? Which does in itself include the aspect of self-love too, right? Because if you can't love yourself and if you can't appreciate yourself for who you are, then it's really difficult for others to see those aspects of you and be able to love you as well. Because if we don't love ourselves, then it's almost like this unconscious, subconscious thing that we do where we kind of feel like we don't actually deserve love, and there is something wrong with us, and that's why we don't love ourselves, because we feel like we're not worthy of love. And feeling that way about ourselves is also like it kind of prevents us from being able to accept the love that other people want to give us too. So it's not just like a cliche phrase, right? That you have to learn to love yourself first before you can, or before others can love you. I'm not sure how the actual phrase goes, but I'm sure you all know what I'm trying to say here. Because the aspect of self-love has been talked about so much, and I feel like especially in recent years, it sounds a lot more easy to do than it actually is. But it is a very crucial part in being able to be in a healthy and balanced and nurturing relationship with someone else. Because again, as I already said, you're just not able to accept that love that someone is trying to give you, or you may be accepting something that like resembles love, but it isn't actually true love, right? So you just end up settling for something that doesn't actually make you happy. So there are all of these different like nuances, and I feel like those aspects of love are something that you maybe have been shying away from, that you maybe have been isolating yourself from, even with this protectiveness, right? There is so much this like cocooning energy that I feel here, and it's not to say that it's like unfounded or anything. I don't want anyone to feel like I am, passing judgment here. It does feel like, especially with the end of a tough cycle approaches here with this full moon in Capricorn, it does feel like you have been put through the ringer here. I'm sure that you have gone through disappointing relationships and heartbreak and rejection and just like people putting you down, or people taking advantage of you, or people not appreciating you for who you are, and trying to like dim your light somehow. Or it definitely feels like you have gone through a lot of shit in your relationships, or even if you haven't had like romantic relationships with anyone, then it could still be like this dynamic that keeps repeating itself in your platonic relationships, or with your family members, or even within yourself, and the way that you see yourself, and the way that you talk to yourself, and the way that you behave with yourself, right? I feel like there has been a lot of these like negative experiences that have fed into you wanting to hide away, or you wanting to somehow shield and guard your very vulnerable heart, not wanting to see or not wanting to let others see who you really are and what you're really capable of. And maybe you've even like experienced people who have helped feed into those insecurities, who have put you down somehow, who have made you feel less than, or made you believe that there is nothing very special about you, or that you don't deserve the things that you want to get, or that you somehow have to earn other people's love, and you're not worthy of it just by being you. Whatever the experiences are that you have been through in the past that have fed into these insecurities and fears and doubts and worries, I feel like you have done so much work on yourself to be able to overcome those things, to be able to get yourself to a place where you are finally starting to believe in your own self-worth, where you're starting to believe in your own uniqueness and in your own worthiness of love, of appreciation, of pleasure. And you're starting to kind of, as I said, step more into the limelight now, step more into the spotlight, and put yourself out there again. Let yourself be seen. And maybe you've also started to appreciate yourself more. Now, I know that like self-love, this is this one big massive thing. This is just my personal opinion, but I believe that reaching a level where you love yourself fully is much more difficult to attain than getting into a relationship that is healthy and happy and balanced. I feel like the work that it takes to get yourself to be 100% happy with all of that you are is just a much, much bigger feat, and it's just going to take a longer time. But I feel like it's something that you are working on. It's something that you are on your way to getting to that point of having all of this love and appreciation for yourself. And maybe even forgiveness as well for the past mistakes that you've made, and for the way that you have allowed other people to treat you in the past, and the way that you maybe treated yourself in the past, and all of those compromises or sacrifices that you made for someone else. All of those things, I feel like you're starting to kind of come to terms with these, or you're starting to forgive yourself for these. And so it's really... It feels massive. Like, honestly, this feels like such a massive thing, because I feel that there is like years and years and years worth of like negative input that you have received, and that you have now started to sift through and resolve. And so it's definitely something that I feel like is going to take more time. But at the same time, because we have the end of a tough cycle approaches, I feel like things are starting to look up for you now. Things are starting to get easier for you now. And again, it's because those are the aspects that you have decided to work through, to look at, to break through these patterns and false beliefs about yourself and about love and about relationships. And with this I spread joy card here, it's clear that you are allowing yourself to shine your light again. You are allowing yourself to to share yourself from a beautiful heart space, loving, compassionate and nurturing place again, both for yourself and also I feel like you're opening up to, again, to other people as well. So this is like I don't know, this feels like a 180 almost, where it's like, well, actually I should say, like, I'm getting an image of a rose. I'm actually seeing a rose in my mind's eye, and there are even roses on this. I think there are roses, maybe they're tulips, I'm not sure, but anyway, I see a rose in my mind's eye, and this rose is like, I see you being that rose, and that rose keeps like opening up more and more and more. And that's kind of what I feel that is happening with you too. That you're starting to kind of show yourself more and open up more. Allowing that, like, that vulnerable but also really, really special and caring and sweet essence of you to come to the surface, to come to the forefront. And allowing others to be a part of that. Those people who actually, like, deserve it, right? Not just anyone, but I do feel like you are kind of building up this confidence, and you have been building up this confidence and this belief in love, and you're ready to accept love again, and you're ready to give love again. Again, take it as it resonates. For some of you, it's something that you are maybe still working through right now. And for others of you, maybe you have already gotten to this stage where you feel confident, when you feel ready to love again and open your heart up to someone again. So it's going to be different for all of you. But it definitely feels like it's a very, very positive progression that has happened here. But let's look at some of these tarot cards. It's going to be very exciting to see what you are now ready for, thanks to all of this hard work that you have been doing. So let's look at this. Ooh, we have the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Oh, yeah, and the 9 of Swords in reverse. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised that we got the Page of Cups. Not surprised at all. Maybe we'll get even more Cups cards. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god, I love tarot and I love oracle cards and I love spirit, and my spiritual team is just amazing. Oh my goodness. And the Hermit in reverse and the 9 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, okay, this is like clear as day. You are so ready to step out of being single. Oops. I don't know. I feel like, at least for the majority of you. No, actually, I'd say like for all of you. I feel like all of you are either like single, where you have been single for quite some time, or even if you like recently came out of a relationship, then I feel like it was a relationship where maybe you didn't like feel quite right. Anyway, yeah, for the majority of you though, I do feel like I'm not really getting like an energy of any of you. If you chose this pile, I'm not getting the energy of you being in a relationship right now. But if you are, and if you've been going through these changes like within that dynamic with someone, then, you know, it could be, again, take it as it resonates and how it applies to your circumstances. But for the most part, I do feel like you, who are watching this pile, I do want to say that I feel like you are so ready to step out of the shadows and into the light, and you're ready to share your love again, and you're ready to step into a committed and loving and appreciative relationship with someone. Because the thing that I want to say here, right, is that I feel with the 7 of Cups and the 4 of Wands here, that I feel like you're starting to realize that you have options. You're starting to realize that, like, you can have whatever you want, and the more kind of open-minded and the more receptive you are, the more options and opportunities you have. And so I love that this Nine of Swords is coming up. It's coming out in reverse here, because it does tell me that you are getting more and more out of your own head, and you're starting to defeat those fears and those insecurities that, again, I feel like didn't really have any place being within you in the first place, but like since they already were or are, at least you're dealing with them. And again, you're starting to realize, you're starting to open up to the possibility of love again, and open up to all of these different situations and opportunities that may bring you a lot of happiness and a lot of celebration and a lot of sense of like connection. And I mean, with the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups, like those two are they're just absolutely like the most perfect cards here, because as I was saying before, right, I mean, we have all of these like love cards coming out. That's a very specific theme of this pile. So I'm not surprised that you're getting all of these Cups cards here, and especially the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, which are talking about that like potential of love, that pure loving energy, wanting to share your heart with someone, wanting to spread that love and give it to someone, and also like wanting to have that connection where that is being reciprocated to you. Just having this like very sincere and very deep and very meaningful love flow, both from you and also to you. But more so, I feel like, because this is talking about the internal changes that you have been making, it does feel like, because you have worked so much on opening up your heart space again, opening up your heart chakra, and letting that love flow through you, and getting yourself to a place where you are ready to express that love again. That's what I feel like you are ready for now. And especially with the Hermit card in reverse, with the Nine of Cups in reverse, I feel like you have done a substantial amount of introspection and being on your own, being isolated, again, being in the shadows with the Hermit here. You've done a lot of that. You've spent quite a long time being separate, being detached from others, from social activities, maybe even, from having that very like deep connection with someone, from having that intimate connection with someone. And so you're ready to come out of that. You're ready to shine your inner light and have someone else shine that light back to you. Because I feel like with the Nine of Cups in reverse here, that like being by yourself is not making you happy anymore. Yes, it might have been keeping you safe for a while. It might have been offering you the protection and this kind of like sheltered feeling that you may have really needed to heal and to work through these wounds and past disappointments and all of those, again, those false beliefs, right? With the Nine of Swords in reverse here. You needed that time and that space to be able to work through those things, to be able to heal and mend your heart. And now that you have, you're ready to share it again. And you're ready to open yourself up to the more lighter aspects of life, right? Because the Four of Wands, I mean, it's probably my favorite card in tarot, at least one of my favorites. And you can see here that it's a card of community. It's a card of coming together with people, coming together in a very happy and carefree and in an energy of enjoyment and love and abundance and fulfillment. It's probably one of the most joyous cards, besides the Sun card, of course. But it's the reason why I love this so much, and this is the energy that you're ready for now. And I feel like again, the more open-minded you can be, right? The more, or I should say, like, the less discriminating of like what specifically you expect to find, the more I feel like life is going to surprise you, because I do feel like there are a lot of options out there for you, a lot of different opportunities and a lot of ways for you to find this love, find this connection, and find this joy and fulfillment. But it's really, honestly, yeah, I don't even feel the need to like keep going on and on and on, because honestly these cards are kind of all saying the same thing, and they are fairly clearly reflecting back all of the energy that we were talking about over here. Because yeah, your pile is like very specific in a very, very specific direction. And I'm just really, really happy to see that. And especially if you have been single for a long time, and if you have been secretly craving like some sort of fulfilling emotional connection, then I feel like I hope that this message is making you happy. Because it does seem like the cards are saying, the universe is saying, the spirit guides are saying that that's what you are ready for. That's what you are ready for. But let's get some last pieces of advice as well for your pile from Spirit, to see what else they would tell you as guidance. So let's see. What kind of advice do you have for pile number 2 regarding their spread? Oh. Yeah, we have the Owls card, which is like the birds, but it's more specific. So with the Owls card here, I do feel like it's asking you to kind of see the bigger picture here. It's asking you to kind of consider all of the things that you have learned, because owls are very often the kind of the epitome or the symbol of wisdom, right? So I feel like this is asking you to kind of bear that in mind, bear that knowledge, that wisdom that you have now gained, to bear that in mind as you are opening yourself up again. But at the same time, because this is still the birds card, and in Lenormand, the birds card can also symbolize like going on dates and talking to people, reaching out to people, being social, right, with people, especially like online and stuff like that. It does feel like this may even be like a suggestion for you to maybe try out online dating, or if that's something that you are not interested in, then maybe just like increasing your online presence, making yourself more seen, or you know, being like more active on social media or something like that, just allowing other people to actually see you and see what you're up to and what you're like, and kind of allow people to discover you and find out about you. But also, if you have the ability, then also it would be a good idea to go to places where you can connect with like-minded people who appreciate the things that you appreciate, and who share the same interests as you. So because the birds card is also about meetings, and as I said, dates and that kind of thing. So if there's anything that you are particularly interested in and that you like to kind of spend your time on, then that might be a place for you to like investigate more, or again put yourself out there more, whether it's some kind of like writing class or acting class, or some kind of art group, whatever it is, right? But if there's anything that you like doing, then maybe looking for ways of like connecting with other like-minded people, that might actually help you put yourself out there and maybe get you in contact with someone who you would really kind of hit it off with. Or at the very least, like if the idea of getting like a romantic partner is maybe still scary to you, then at least like finding new friends, finding people who really resonate with you and who see the world the way that you do, pretty much. Okay, but let's see what else. Oh, okay. We also have the crossroads. card as well. So yeah, it's interesting because with the Seven of Cups, it's also talking about choice. It's talking about options. And that's the same thing with the Crossroads card here. It really does say that you have options. It's really up to you to decide which way you want to go here and what you want to experience, what you want to do. So it almost feels like it's calling you, or it's calling you to action here. It's asking you to do something, to go somewhere, to express yourself somehow. It's saying that there are options for you. And I feel like the thing that would really benefit you is actually taking initiative here. As I said, like getting in touch with people or signing up for some kind of like class or some kind of course, like doing something, right? Being proactive in some way and putting yourself out there, as I was saying before. Because I feel like to do nothing or to stay just stuck and standing where you are would probably be the least beneficial thing for you here. That's kind of what I want to do say. Yeah, that's what I want to say. So I'm just going to leave it there. But basically choosing something, deciding to make a move and figuring out which way you want to go or what you want to do. And let's see if we can get one last piece of advice from Spirit for pile number 2 regarding their spread. Sorry. I also wanted to say that because we are getting these choice cards here, it could actually even mean that you may end up like meeting several people who may be interested in you. So you may have to like choose between several suitors or several people who may be interested in you. It's just something that I also wanted to point out, but mainly the first meaning resonates. Okay, well that's the main thing here. Okay. Last message, please. Thank you. Okay, and we also have the Bear card. So yeah, I feel like because this Bear card is talking about being strong and being resilient and staying strong within yourself, right? And within your like capabilities, trusting yourself and standing up for who you are. So again, it's like it's asking you to not waver and to not hide who you are and just believe and have faith in yourself and have faith in your own ability to kind of do what you want to do, to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And especially if you're maybe still like not 100% sure that you are able to one day get a relationship that would truly make you happy and that would be balanced and loving and nurturing and all that you want it to be, then I feel that Spirit is saying here that like hold on to that like belief or have faith in that, trust in that, because I feel like there is so much that you have control over here. And if you believe that that's something that you can have, and if you work on your self-worth and keep increasing that belief that you do deserve the best and you are worthy of that kind of amazing, fulfilling love and relationship, then that's what you are going to be getting. So Spirit is just asking you to stay strong here and to stay true to yourself and believe in your own ability, okay? Believe in your own worth and value. But oh my goodness, what a reading, pile number 2. This was such a cool reading and such a roller coaster ride as well, I feel like. But ultimately, oh my god, this is so exciting. And I mean, especially if you've been alone or single for a long time and you've been wondering whether there's any point at all where you finally are able to get into a relationship again, where the universe sees that you are ready for someone new, then that's the confirmation that the universe sees that you are ready for something or someone new. Okay, so wow, I really, really, really love this reading for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. Definitely let me know in the comment section how it resonated. You can also give me a thumbs up if you don't want to get into any details, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this reading and if you want to see more from me. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, for sharing this time with me, for hanging out with me, and I do hope to see you guys very soon in my next reading. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. So this is going to be your reading. I am going to be putting the tarot cards on the side here for the time being, because we're going to start off with some oracle cards first to see what it is that you have been working through, what it is that you have been healing, whether you have managed to heal those things completely or whether you are still on your way to healing those things. It's going to be different for all of you because this is a general reading, okay? So just take the parts that resonate and leave the rest. And if you are interested in what else you should be keeping in mind as you're watching this reading or as you're watching tarot readings in general, definitely go and check out the first link in my description box. It'll take you to the video that I made about this specific subject. But having said that, let's get straight into the cards. Oh wow, we are starting off with She Who Forgives. Remorse, guilt, forgiveness. We also have Waxing Crescent Moon. Oh my god, that is so crazy. And we have Elixir of Life, and this this is the L key deck, and this also says Elixir. So it's kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. Okay, we also have Resistance. And we have Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back with South Node. We have Doll. And finally, we have I Am Accepting. Okay, so I definitely feel like you, pile number 3, have been doing a lot of work on releasing your past, on setting yourself free from all of the shackles of the past, everything that like happened that you are maybe not necessarily proud of, things that you regret, things that you wish you could take back or like do over somehow if you had the chance, any mistakes that you maybe had a very hard time like letting go of or forgetting. I feel like there's a lot that maybe had its hold on you from the past, and again, whether it's something that you have now managed to make peace with, or whether it's something that you are still working through, but again, at least you're working through it, right? Regardless of where you are on your journey, it does feel like you have kind of managed to almost like wipe the slate clean in a way. And it's not to say that it means that you know what happened in the past didn't happen, or that you've completely like forgotten about those things or are ignoring those things. None of that. It just means that the things that happened in the past are in the past and you are accepting that now. You're kind of accepting that there's like however much guilt, however much sadness, or however much pain you may be feeling because of the past, there is nothing you can do about it anymore. It's gone, and the moments have passed, and that's just the way it is. So the only thing that you can do right now is to accept that and keep going forward and try your best to learn from those past situations so that you wouldn't be repeating those same mistakes again. And I feel like that's exactly what you are doing. Because with this waxing crescent moon here, I feel like you are growing, you are evolving, you are pushing yourself forward, you are starting to actually create momentum for yourself, because again, you've managed to work through some things that were maybe halting your progress before, that were maybe stopping you in your tracks because of some of those patterns that you kept like reliving, or some of those like past emotions that you kept holding on to, and now it's like you are setting yourself free. You're setting yourself free. You're not grasping onto what was and resisting to like face the new, right? Face the new potential and the moment that you have now. Because I feel like maybe previously, when your mind and your emotional space was so cluttered with past energies and past mistakes and memories, you maybe like didn't even realize, or maybe a lot of the things that were happening around you in the present moment just like passed you by, because it's almost like you weren't even there. Like you could have been there physically, but on an emotional, on a spiritual, on a mental level, it's like you were in a completely different place. And so all of those things that were happening around you, it's almost like you missed them. And it's like your life was on pause. Like you were, like your life was halted, your progress was halted. And so with this elixir of life, I almost feel like maybe you like literally stopped living. Like, okay, not literally, like I don't mean in a physical sense stopped living. Although maybe like that's true for some of you, and if that is, then I'm really, really sorry if like you've gone through like a near-death experience or something like that. Oh my goodness, I don't know. That's probably like a very specific message. And I don't even know why that came through, but honestly, it just feels like, in a metaphorical sense, let's just say it like that. In a metaphorical sense, it's like you weren't really living. It's almost like you were like this vessel, right? Like this doll. You were there in like physical form, but you were empty on the inside, or you weren't really present. You weren't really aware of what was happening. And so you weren't really like fully living your life. You weren't really fully experiencing your life because of all of the things that were grabbing onto you, that were holding onto you. And I feel like now it's almost like there is, like you are starting to shed all of that baggage. You're starting to shed all of that extra unnecessary skin and extra layers that you have been holding on to, or that have been holding on to you, and that you don't really need anymore. And with this elixir of life, it's like you're starting to bloom again. It's like you are coming back to life again. And it's really, like, honestly, like this center part here is really what feels the most alive. That's what I feel like you have been working on here, to bring yourself back to life, to ease up on those burdens and to ease up on those baggages that you have been dragging along with you, and that have only been weighing you down, and now you're starting to shed them, or maybe you have already managed to shed them completely. But either way, I feel like you have made so much peace with so many things that happened. And I feel like you're starting to realize that, you know, you're only human. Maybe you had like really, really unrealistic expectations for yourself, or you maybe were like so incredibly judgmental and critical of yourself that like it was almost impossible for yourself not to disappoint yourself, if that makes sense. Like, no matter what you did, or no matter how hard you tried, or no matter how much of yourself you gave to something, you still ended up in a position where you weren't happy with the result, or where you beat yourself up because you felt like you could have done more, or you could have accomplished more, or you should have done better. And I feel like that kind of self-talk, that kind of like critical edge that you maybe had, like a super critical edge you had towards yourself, that's something that you've started to like ease up on, because you really are like only human, and you are divine at the same time. You're beautiful, and you're talented, and you're special, because we all are divine in our core on a soul level, but you're still only human as well. And so it's almost like inevitable that you are meant to mess up, and you're meant to disappoint yourself and disappoint others and fall down and fail, all those kinds of things, right? It's inevitable, it's part of life, and that's why you are here. go through those things so that you can learn and grow and expand and forgive, and like that's all part of the process here. And I feel like you're starting to accept it now more than you did before. Because especially with this doll here, like, yes, it can be a reference of like maybe like being too much in, like, again, in the past, right? Like that nostalgic aspect, because usually dolls are the things that we play with when we are children. So it could be another reference to the past, but I'm also feel with this doll that it's talking about this level of perfection and talking about almost this like level of fakeness or inauthenticity, where it's like you maybe expected yourself to be perfect and expected yourself to be so polished, and almost like wanted something that was not possible. Like you wanted yourself to be in a way that is not possible for a human being to be. And so again, I feel like a lot of those expectations that you had for yourself, maybe you had for other people as well. It could be, but I more strongly feel that it's this like massive criticism that is aimed towards yourself. And that's the thing that you have been working through. That's the thing that you have been like trying to overcome and ease up on. And I do see you starting to get there, because again, with this waxing crescent moon, that's the stage when the moon starts moving towards full moon, right? The full moon stage. So it's growth, it's expansion. And that's the thing that you are starting to do here. Again, it's like you've revitalized yourself. You've come back to life. Or again, if you're still working through those things, you are coming back to life. So, wow. Definitely a massive feat here, and I feel like you've really worked through so much. So much. This feels like years and years worth of work, honestly. And so you should be really proud. But let's go to the tarot portion now. If this part resonates with you, if that's something that you recognize, then let's see what are the things that you are now actually ready for because of all of this work that you have been doing. Okay, we have the Four of Swords in reverse. We have the King of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, yeah, why am I not surprised? We also have the Chariot as your center card here. And the High Priestess. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Wands in reverse. Okay, so the main thing here that I want to say is that it is clear to me that you are ready to move, you are ready to grow, you are ready to level up and move yourself to new experiences, to new environments, new situations, new relationships. You're just ready, because with this Four of Swords in reverse here, I'm just going to let's just start from the beginning, shall we? The Four of Swords in reverse is always, or at least most of the time, it's indicative of coming out of this state of like stillness, recuperation, meditation, kind of like being out of the fray or out of the commotion of things, almost like staying out of the picture, right? Being in this like sleeping mode, as you can see from the card here as well. Because traditionally this is a card of rest. And when this is coming out in reverse, it's talking about the need to start moving, the need to wake up and get back to living, get back to doing, get back to experiencing, because you've been recuperating for long enough. You've been like snoozing for long enough. And so it's very, very evident here that Spirit is urging you to get out of that like sleeping state that I feel like you've been in, where you, as I said, it felt like you were there, you were present, and you were doing the things that maybe you were supposed to do, and you were living your life, day-to-day life, at least for most of you. But it's like your awareness was completely somewhere else, and your heart was completely somewhere else. So you were there in physical form, but that's about it. And so now it's time to like get that awareness, get that presence back into the here and now. Because with the King of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, it's talking about you being in a place where it's okay to, where you feel okay to like participate in life again. The Six of Pentacles is all about an exchange of energy. Whether it be like it's depicted kind of like money in this deck, and in usual decks it kind of hints at that, but it doesn't have to be just money. It's energy. It's like, it can be time, it can be attention, it can be like whatever, really. But it's an exchange of energy. So with the King of Pentacles here, it's saying that you are stable, and you are present, and you are like grounded now. You're ready to like start getting back into it. You're ready to start getting back into the game, and sharing yourself with people again, taking part in experiences. I feel like that section is kind of all talking about that. Because you've kind of got back into a space where you have something to give, right? With the King of Pentacles, you're finally in a space where you have something to give, because maybe previously you, as I said, you felt like an empty vessel. Maybe you felt like you didn't even know why you were living anymore, because again, maybe you were so focused on the past and everything that had been, and everything that was, and everything that isn't here anymore, that you maybe didn't even see any point in like life anymore. And again, I really hope that it didn't get to like the extreme level that I was talking about at one point, but like regardless of the level that it got to you, or it got for you, I should say, I feel like now you are in this stable, secure place where, as I said, there is something for you to give. There is something of value that you have, and you're ready to experience it again. And I mean, I talked about the Chariot already because I just couldn't I couldn't wait. But it's clear, like this is just the most obvious card on the table here. It's clear that you're ready to move. It's clear that you're ready to go. Maybe you are actually ready to like physically relocate, if that's something that you feel the need for, if that's something that you feel called to do. Maybe there is a time for you to pack your bags and try living in another country for a while. Maybe it's time for you to change your career, find a new place to work, find something that actually resonates with you, not just on like a physical level, right? Not just something that like pays the bills, but maybe it's time for you to find a workplace or a career that actually nourishes your soul as well, and that offers you something deeper, something on an emotional level too, something that makes you feel like you matter, something that gives your life purpose, something that helps you like rewrite the past mistakes, or like set the karma straight, right? If there's something that you feel that you really messed up on in the past, something that you truly regret, and something that you're maybe like fully ashamed of, or something like that, then like maybe doing something where you feel that you are actually giving back to others, giving back to the community, or giving back to your family or whoever. Maybe doing something like that gives your life purpose, and that like allows you to do good, right? And like balance out your karma. Maybe that's something that you need to do here, to give you that sense of fulfillment and peace of mind. Or maybe it's talking about the need for you to reach out to some friends that you haven't talked to in a while, or to reconcile with some friends that you maybe have distanced yourself from. It just talks about moving your life ahead. That's what you're ready for here. You're ready for the next stages. You're ready for the next levels. You're ready to get on that chariot and start moving forward, putting that willpower, that action, that drive to use, seeing where it is that you want to go, seeing what it is that you want to do, and going after it. That's what you're ready for. Because with the High Priestess here, it does feel like there has been some sort of like epiphany, or some sort of like a deeper understanding. There has been something that has been illuminated to you, something that you now like realize, right? As I said, I feel like there has been this awakening, or like coming back to life that you've gone through. And I feel like with that, you now have the ability to see something deeper, to see a deeper meaning to things, and maybe even to like your own inner world as well, your own desires, the things that drive you, the thoughts that you have, and the emotions that you experience. And I also see that, like, because these cards are coming out together like this, I do feel like whatever it is that you like are called to do now, or the way that you feel that you want to move forward, I do feel like it's something to do with like this deeper realization that you have, this intuition, or this deeper sense, the thing that like woke you up, the thing that sparked this like will to live again, or will to experience life, will to participate in life. And again, for those of you who haven't maybe like experienced it yet, if you are still working through those things, and if you're still working through to getting yourself to a point where you are like ready to open yourself up to life again, then I feel like that's something that you have to look forward to over here. And finally, with this Knight of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Wands in reverse, with this Knight of Swords, I feel like you're done running away from life. With the Knight of Swords, I seriously feel like that's kind of what was happening before. And with it coming out in reverse, it tells me that you're done now, because again, you're present. You're now present, you're now aware, you're now mindful, you're now grounded in reality. You are there physically, but you're also there like spiritually, emotionally, and mentally as well, with the Four of Swords here. Like that mental space that was completely someplace else is now with you, and you're ready to stop running away. You're ready to stop running away. And I also feel like you're done like beating yourself up over these things. There's no need for you to be this hostile towards yourself anymore, and maybe even defensive as well. Maybe you were acting defensive with others because of that guilt you were feeling internally. But it does feel like you're just ready to leave those aspects behind, because like there is no war anymore. There's no push and pull where like a part of you is in the past and a part of you is urging to move forward, but like there's no balance. I hope that it's making sense, because I almost feel like it's like, I don't know. But yeah, just to like sum this up, pile number 3, you're ready to live. You're ready to live, you're ready to progress, you're ready to experience life fully on all levels, and you're ready to move forward from like a more meaningful place where you feel that you have a sense of purpose, where you feel like you know what you're here to do, where you are guided by a deeper feeling, right? That's what you're ready to do here. You're ready to come out of this slumbering energy, from this like from this energy where you're just running away, where you are escaping from the reality of things, or where you're not actually present. I feel like you're coming out of that stage more and more and more, and you're becoming more present, you're becoming more participatory in life again. And it's taking you to places. It's taking you to new things, and it's taking you to new levels where you have the ability to experience life in a much more fulfilling way. And it's allowing you to do things differently this time around. It's allowing you to be mindful so that you are not repeating the same mistakes again. And that's really something. Before we close the reading, we are going to be getting some last pieces of advice from Spirit. This is a Lenormand Oracle deck actually, but we're going to be getting some advice cards from Spirit with this. So Spirit, please share any last pieces of advice that you have for pile number 3 regarding their spread. Oh, this is beautiful. We have, well, this is the number 9 card, so it's the bouquet or flowers card. And this is all about beauty. This is all about appreciation and love and joy and again, like pleasure. Enjoying life, appreciating life. That's what I feel like Spirit is urging you to do here. To allow yourself to be in situations and to put yourself in circumstances where you are able to like experience life in its best form, where you're able to enjoy yourself and where you're able to have beautiful experiences. So if there's anything that like you know that always has a very positive effect on you, that always lifts you up, then that's something that Spirit is urging you to do here. But let's see, what else? Any other pieces of advice that you have for pile number 3 regarding their spread, please? Oh, wow, okay, so it flipped out in reverse. I'm going to keep that in mind, but there are really no reversals in Lenormand, so I'm just going to turn it upright. But we have the Clouds card here. And the Clouds card is like talking about that uncertainty. It's talking about that like confusion and some sort of problems on the horizon or some sort of issues. And I feel like because it came out in reverse, it's actually signifying that you are coming out of that now. You are coming out of that hazy, that troubled and just like really like unsettled place. And you're moving towards clarity again. You're moving towards this peace of mind and this like deeper sense, right? So I feel like what Spirit is saying is like focus on that, focus on the clarity and focus on like keeping yourself on the trajectory towards what it is that you want. Try and like avoid distracting yourself. Try and avoid getting yourself into escapism or putting yourself in situations where you want to escape the reality. Right? If it's like any kind of substances, if it's any like fantastical worlds through books or through movies or through computer games. Whatever it is that you do to kind of like escape the reality of the life that you are in, I feel like Spirit is asking you to be mindful of that, to become aware of that, even though I kind of feel like that's what you've been doing anyway, but maybe that's another point for you to like keep working on. And just like avoid getting yourself in situations that like mess with your mind, or even like reminding yourself of some of the sore spots that you may still be having when it comes to the past. And if it's even like, if you have some sort of people in your life that have that kind of like negative effect on you, or who like bring up some painful memories for you, or who like to remind you of some of the things that you're trying to leave behind, or if someone is not allowing you to move forward from that, then I feel like Spirit is suggesting for you to like reconsider how much time you really want to spend with those kinds of people, how much time and energy you want to give them. Because again, right, I feel like you are ready for like a positive and fair energy exchange here, but an exchange that actually takes you forward rather than like drags you back into the past, right? So that's just something for you to again consider here. And maybe try and like limit your exposure to any negative influences that may trigger you in some way. And finally, can we get one last piece of advice for pile number 3 regarding their spread, please? Oh, wow. Okay, and we have the house card, number 4. Okay. So with the house card, the house is a card of like family. It's a card of like your roots, your heritage, but also like where you reside, where your safe space is. Your home, right? Your family life, your home life, your lifestyle, that kind of thing. So I feel like, again, what it's saying here is that try and focus on the things that make you feel grounded, that make you feel safe, and that make you feel like present and good about yourself and where you are. But at the same time, like I don't know why, but I want to say this to someone, like if your family or if your like ancestors or some kind of like your heritage or your family roots or something about your home, if that's something that like triggers you, or if that's something that is a part of that like painful past or part of those memories that you are maybe trying to release or overcome or work through, then it might be a good idea to like try and again find something that would like bring you joy and reduce the contact that you have with those triggers. Because I mean, the first card here is the flowers card, right? As I was saying, it's a very, very positive card, and it's a very happy card, and it's a card of enjoyment. So I feel like that's something that Spirit truly wants you to focus on here and not lose that like enthusiasm and like spark for life that you have newly rediscovered. And so if there is anything from your like home environment that acts as a trigger, then maybe like consider what you can do to change your circumstances, or what you can do to get rid of that trigger, or at least reduce your contact to that trigger. And just like finding this place for you where you feel safe, where you feel secure, and where you feel good, where you can feel good. I feel like that's something that is truly important. But again, like that message of like staying grounded, staying present, staying aware, that seems to be very, very important here as well. So yeah, I feel like Spirit is kind of giving you several different pieces of advice here. So just again, take what resonates and leave the rest. But oh my goodness, I'm gonna leave it here, pile number 3. This was probably the most serious reading of all of the piles, and if you're still here with me, if you managed to stick it through until the end, then I mean, you like, this is amazing. You have done some really, really important progress here, and I hope that you realize that. I hope that you know that, because Spirit clearly sees that, and I hope that you like found some sort of encouragement from this reading to keep going and to keep pushing, because there's so much promising energy here that's waiting to like come into your life and take you further and take you forward. So I hope that it offered you some sort of like reassuring messages. And if that's the case, if you could resonate with this story and you found something useful from this, please let me know. You can leave me a comment in the comment section, or you can give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoy my energy, and if you want to hang out with me in the future and not miss any future readings, definitely don't forget to subscribe as well. But I'm going to leave it there, pile number 3. I am sending you guys so much love and light, and I hope to see you in my next pick a card reading very soon. Take care. Bye bye.